Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to this second workshop of Hazards Out, the project that is built in partnership with FEAD, the European Waste Management Federation, Hazardous Waste Europe, dealing with hazardous waste in Europe, and also ACR Plus, the network of municipalities active in waste management. I'm John Paul Judson, CEO of NOWMORE, and we are facilitating the project together then with my colleagues Vanya and Vito. So today we are going to be discussing collection methods for household hazardous waste. The principal core of this project is to look at the implementation of the obligation on municipalities to implement separate collection for household hazardous waste. And what we are trying to achieve is essentially two things. One is to look at all the different issues around managing household hazardous waste through a series of workshops. And the other angle of this project is actually to build a professional community of operators who are working with household hazardous waste to try and improve the situation across Europe and to build on the experiences of all of us. So we're at the very start of this project. It's our second workshop, but we're really pleased to see that there's a lot of interest in this. Also for this specific workshop, you were 77 to register, coming from 20 different countries, with our top three being Belgium, Portugal, and Lithuania. So it's great to see actually delegations from outside of Belgium, because we would assume that in Belgium we will have quite a footprint because of where European associations are based, but actually where we really want to be active is outside of the European bubble, and really go much more local. So it will be actually really interesting to hear from all of you, wherever you may be joining, as to how you're also approaching collection methods on household hazardous waste. And I hope that you'll find this workshop interactive. We'll certainly allow for your comments and questions. Also, later on, you can turn on your camera and microphone and really have a proper conversation, right? So please feel free to jump in. And also we have participants coming from different parts, obviously a lot from the waste management and recycling sector, but equally many from public authorities, local and national. So hopefully also we'll be getting a sense of where the policies are headed in this area. So please feel free to chip in. As I mentioned, this is part of a series. So we kicked off on the 11th of February with a more general view on what is going to change with this new legal obligation to separately collect household hazardous waste in the European waste directive. Now we're going more into collection methods, and in September we'll be looking at the interaction between separate collection and extended producer responsibility in this area of household hazardous waste. And we'll continue to have topics like these in the upcoming months, and also next year. So we have a broader plan, and hopefully this will be interesting for you. Also, something that I just want to highlight, which is new since a few weeks ago, is the project website. So hazardsout.eu, in fact. We see this as a place where you will be able to access all the materials coming from the different workshops and work streams that we have planned for Hazards Out. So there is already, for instance, there available the previous workshop recording and presentations. And also, obviously, you will be able there to register for future events. And as we build this professional community, this is also where we intend to publish potentially work that we will be doing together, right? So it's a place for the professional community working with household hazardous waste. So, I encourage you also to visit hazardsout.eu and stay informed on that. In terms of our agenda today, so I'm still in time with my welcome note. That's good. As the timekeeper here, I need to show a bit of leadership. Yes, we will basically be hearing from two case studies, looking on a municipal perspective on how to manage household hazardous waste. So we'll start with Odense in Denmark, and then we'll be hearing from the case of Luxembourg, which is sort of local and national all in one. So as we have a feeling there aren't actually that many case studies around, we'll really go for a deep dive into Odense and Luxembourg. Feel free also to raise your questions with the speakers. We can take a bit of time to try and fully understand the case studies, the challenges. Let's really take a bit of time, and then we can really move to the open discussion where we will be inviting you also to take part, right, with microphone and camera if you so desire. But I will obviously also be monitoring the Q&A and the chat. Okay, and I think if that's good with all of you, I think we can really get going. And so I'm really pleased to introduce our first speaker today, Michael Dino Hansen. He is hazardous industrial and municipal waste consultant for the Municipality of Odense in Denmark. Really keen to hear all the great work that you've been doing on household hazardous waste over in Odense. So Michael, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to share our experience here in Odense. Did you see my screen? Did the screen change? Perfect. Sorry, I'm a bit new to this, so please bear with me. Yeah, we have a long tradition of sharing information externally. So we are part of the ACR Plus member, and also have projects abroad, Indonesia, Kenya, with the Danish Environmental Agency. So we really take a pride in sharing our information and trying to improve environment and waste management throughout the world. A little bit about Odense. It's a relatively small city. Although we are the fourth largest city in Denmark, we still just have 200,000 inhabitants, so relatively small. But we collect waste from the households, curbside collection, and last year we collected 136,000 tons into these 10 fractions, which is obligatory by EU. And one of them, of course, is the hazardous waste, which we have household collection of to some extent. We have our setup is like we have 8 recycling stations where people can bring the waste. This is mainly for recyclables. But for the normal residual waste, we go to the households and collect it. But yeah, we have 8 of these locations, and 2 of them there is a station where you can deliver the hazardous waste. So just you are all experts in this, so you all know what the hazardous waste is, and that also it's defined in this European waste list. And I just want to emphasize that there is some information. Actually, ACR Plus supported a project where we collected information into a report. As you see here, there's this guidance which present examples on how hazardous waste from household can be collected. So that's something I would recommend to look into. It gives some background. It's maybe a bit outdated because in the meantime we have now this obligation to collect it at the households. So there might be some differences, but you can this is a good place to start, I would say. Then about our setup here in Odense. We provide the citizens with red boxes. We have big types and a smaller one. The big one can accommodate 11 kilos. And it's according to this ADR approval, so it's as standard packaging, which is ADR approved, meaning that we are allowed to transport it on a truck. And then we have a smaller one, which can carry 8 kilos. The citizen can call us and ask us for these boxes, or they can come to one of the stations where we will hand it out to them, and then they will put the hazardous waste into it. Except for batteries, there we have a special scheme where we just put them on top of the waste bin, and then our normal garbage truck will take it and put it into a special compartment. So batteries is a bit special. It could also go into the red box, but most people use this just to put them in a plastic bag on top of the normal bin. So when people have a full box of hazardous waste in the red box, there's different ways of getting rid of it. Either they can call us or write to us on our service homepage, the service desk, where we then will assign a date where we will come and pick it up. It can either be by a big truck, as you see at the top here, or we have a smaller one with less capacity. So depending on how many boxes we need to collect on the specific date, we will go with either the big truck or the small truck. And then people will just put out the red box at the curbside in the morning, and we will pick it up. Then another way is that they can go to one of the 8 recycling stations, where we have a scheme so that there's every 4 weeks, I think it is, there's a special scheme where they know that the big truck is located at the recycling center, so they can bring the red box themselves to the big truck, and then they will do the sorting in the big box in the big truck, or they can go to those 2 stations where we have a dedicated area for hazardous waste collection. That is, I will come back to this afterwards, because the big truck then comes back to the one location where we have sorting. Then we open the red boxes and put it into all the different categories of hazardous waste, which we have: oxidizing, corrosive, flammable, solvents, all kind of things, which is based on the disposal treatment. So we separate them according to the final disposal, and then we have a company who comes and pick it up from us after we have packed it into the appropriate containers. The reception area is always manned, and there will always be a discussion about what is the chemical, so that we are aware, because most times people don't really bring it in the original packaging. So therefore, it's really important for us that we have this discussion and talk about what did they use it for, how old is it, is there any problems with this chemical. So based on that discussion, our person here will put it into the right barrel or drum. About the trucks, this small truck is designed in such a way that it can accommodate 28 of these boxes of 8 kilos. And then because of that, we are below the ADR requirements, meaning that we don't have to have all the necessary equipment, safety equipment. We don't need the bill of lading. All these formalities is avoided by collecting smaller quantities. And we have a good a result by this, because 25 boxes is actually quite a lot. We normally don't go and pick up 25 boxes. So most of the time we use the small truck to pick up the waste, the boxes. For the big one, of course, it's much bigger. And it has a bigger capacity, and therefore we need to comply with the ADR regulation when we transport the waste from the recycling center back to our sorting and storage area. It requires this especially ADR educated driver. There's a lot about safety features, and also very problematic is to produce this bill of lading. What is stored on the truck? There have to be a document which define what is loaded onto the truck. And to do that, we have, of course, we have all these different boxes, again, drums where we can put the material. But as you see in the middle, we have a small scale attached to a computer system so that we can weigh the different containers individually and then assign a waste category, a UN number to the waste, and then the system print out, as you see to the right hand side here, the bill of lading, the consignment note, which shows what is stored on the truck, which is a demand by ADR rules that you have this on board. For the block of flats, high-rise buildings, it's difficult for the people to have red boxes in their apartment. They don't have much space, so having this red box is problematic, and therefore we set up these racks where we can put red boxes into it. It's actually very clever. You open a door on the right hand side and you push in your red box, and then out from the other side there's an empty box coming out. So you feed in the full and you get an empty one. So you can have smaller boxes. We have up to, I think, down to 3 kilos, because these flats, they don't generate much hazardous waste, so we don't need the big boxes. What is really required by the big box is that we can put paint box bottles and buckets really take up a lot of space and weigh a lot. Therefore, we need the big 11 kilo container, the box for that. But for the flats, we have very small ones, and it don't take up much space in the flats, so people are very happy with this. And then we can come and empty the full cupboard when it's full. Sorting, you see, we have different setup, but all of it is more or less the same, that for each type of waste there's a bucket, a drum, and we have exhaust connected to each of the drums so that our staff is not affected by the fumes from the waste, if there is any. Most of the time the containers are closed, but in case there is any leakage, then we don't want our people to be exposed to this. And also, of course, we have strong safety measures, goggles and gloves, and also we have breathing apparatus in case there is a big spillage. But normally it's people, people bring it to us, so normally it's safely closed and covered in a closed container, so not generating too many problems. In the drums, we have what we call a vermiculite, like a packaging material to prevent the bottles to break. And also this is good for the transportation, that it doesn't break during transport. And then when we have packed the drums, we put them out into our storage area. It has to be a covered area, so we have put up a special container which can be locked, and also it is on the roof. So the company who deals with the disposal will collect the material from these locations. We both have the gases you see here. To the left is the gas cylinders, which we have divided into flammable and inert and oxidizing gases, so that there's not a mixture of different gases. For paint, we have a big container because we have a huge amount of paint collected from the citizens. So that is emptied into a tight container and taken in that way to the disposal facility. Then we have a huge amount of cylinders with helium. This has become, I don't know why, but has become very, very popular. This is a huge amount, and because it's such a huge amount, we now ourselves empty them, and then we make a hole in them, because then it's not ADR, it's not hazardous substances anymore, because it's an empty container, so we can now transport it as metals. But we have to make sure that they are punctured, that there is a hole in each container, which takes up a lot of work for us to do that. Also, these gases, nitrogen, what is it called? Nitrogen oxides, ladder gas is causing a lot of trouble for us. For fireworks, we have a special container again. There is special requirements towards the distance towards other activities. And because we have a very small location, we have put up these walls around the small container to prevent if there is an explosion, then we don't have any objects flying to the surroundings. Then about the quantities, there is some calculations that typically there is about 1% of the municipal waste, which is hazardous waste, which is typically between 1 to 6 kilo. And here in Odense, last year we collected 405 tons, which was 0.8% of the total amount that we collected. So on the low side of the 1%, but close to. It would really correlate to about 2 kilo per inhabitant, which is also a bit to the low end, but again, within the range. We spent a huge amount of money on this. We had 1.1 million euro of cost for these 405 tons. So around 2,600 euros per ton of material, which I think is an incredible amount. But as you see, Most of the costs relate to collection and administration of the system, and 40% was related to the disposal cost. So we have a huge amount of administration work, and also the people have to have this special training, and we have to have extra people working with this to secure that it's fully manned, our stations. So when you think about the biggest quantity, as you see on the next slide here, our largest quantity, more than half of what we get is paint. And paint is, I don't really think is considered such a hazardous material. Most of the paint nowadays are this water-based paints, but still it's considered as a hazardous material. And I think that's something somebody should investigate. Why don't we do something else with this huge quantity then? Typically, the disposal would be incineration of this, which is highly costly, but it should be possible to pre-treatment in some way, so that I hope that the universities at some point would look into this, or somebody technical could look into this, because that would reduce the quantities tremendously, especially here in Denmark at least. Otherwise, we have the gas, the precious cylinders, organic chemicals, motor oil, and then solvents are the next fractions, of which we have most. We also do a lot of campaigns. We have brochures about what is the red box about, what should be put in, also about small electronical, especially these lithium batteries is causing problems nowadays. We have fires once in a while, especially from these bicycle batteries, which if they are broken, then they have enough energy to start the fire. The one to the right-hand side is like a campaign we just ran in the local newspaper. We have like focus topics, and last week it was actually this about the hazardous waste. So we try to educate people, and that's also, as you see here, we have a nearly 10% increase every year. And that, in one way, it's good because it prevents the hazardous waste to be mixed into the normal household waste. But on the other hand, it's also generating additional costs for us every year. So we of course we need to take care of the environment, but yeah, there is, especially for the paint, I think there is a demand to do something about it. So I hope it was clear to you what we do here in Odense, and I think in many cases it's probably similar to the other systems in place in other countries and cities. But now you have our system here, and feel free to contact me in case you need extra information. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Michael. I think this is really the kind of presentation we needed to just see what the starting point is, and what could possibly be replicated. There are a couple of questions. I would just still like to start with the first one, because we see the red box, right? It has this clear, symbolic, iconic, and I can imagine that's a really important part of the communication. I just wonder, Odense is in Denmark. So what's the deal here? Like, what is there some kind of national level system that imposes some kind of obligation, and this is the way you have implemented it in Odense, or is Odense very different to other kinds of cities in Denmark? I'm just wondering the value of this red box. Is it like a Danish thing, or is it very specific to Odense? And was there any kind of national pressure that led to Odense setting up this system, or was it purely like a bottom-up local approach, if you like?
Actually, we have had the red box for many years, but now after EU decided that we have to have this collection, actually it's by demand from EU that by 1st of January there was obligation to have household collection of the hazardous waste. So therefore, we have had much more attention on bringing out more red boxes. It was more like a volunteer system before New Year. But after New Year, we really try to reach out to everybody so that we make sure that they have this red box in every household.
Right.
But previously it was more like a volunteer system, and it has been like that in most cities in Denmark, I would say.
Okay.
Most of the cities have implemented similar systems. It could differ how often they collect it. Somebody also have like a collection 2 times a year on a special date. We often send out a calendar on the date where we come and collect the normal waste, and then on that calendar they have like 2 days in a year they will come and pick up the red box, so people would know that they have to put it out on that day. It would be more economical, I think, because you just need to go the whole city in these days. But nowadays we drive a lot of kilometers to pick up a few boxes every day. But this is what we have decided to do here, because also there is this safety aspect. If you just put it outside, people can open it up and look into it. So we want to prevent too many boxes to be out in the open.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't just stay hanging around. With this change that it's sort of mandatory as opposed to like a voluntary system, are there any charges for households to have the red box? Like, does it come at a cost for the household?
It is part of the yearly fee that they pay for the normal household waste. So we have added the cost of this on the normal fee which they pay.
Right. Okay. Perfect. And maybe the last one at this point, because then we'll also have the discussion. So I keep these questions for a little bit later. Very specifically, as you talked about paint, right? And paint was one of the biggest products that you're collecting. Do you make a difference in the separate collection between the water-based paints and the oil-based paints? Is that somehow separated because potentially of the difference in the price of treatment?
Yes, we would separate the solvent-based paint into the flammable and organic material. So there is a difference between the water-based, but we see most water-based paint coming in.
Okay, brilliant. And actually, maybe the last one as well, which is a bit specific, just to understand the case study here and the kind of products that are being collected or considered household hazardous waste. What about healthcare waste for, those kinds of products that are consumed at home, if you like? Is there anything that you provide for there?
Normally, we don't take it because the pharmacies are obliged to take back expired medicines. So, but of course we do get some which we then hand over to the pharmacies because they are responsible of dealing with that fraction.
Right. Okay. It's a little bit like batteries in a sense. There's a separate system for that. Okay. Okay, perfect. And I keep the other questions in the chat, right? So we will be having an open discussion, but I think some of these questions would be interesting also to hear from Luxembourg as well. So anyway, we'll keep those for later. Thanks a lot, Michael. Stay with us. I propose then now that we go to Luxembourg to hear the case study from Jeff Schmit. He is head of SDK Akademie in Luxembourg. So please, Jeff, over to you.
Yeah, so hello, good morning. Yeah, my name is Jeff Schmit. I work for SuperDrecksKëscht in Luxembourg. Does it work? Okay.
You should have control.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's working. Yeah, exactly. So I work for SuperDrecksKëscht in Luxembourg, but we are operating this as a company called OSL. Just to give you a little idea what SuperDrecksKëscht is, so SuperDrecksKëscht is in charge of the hazardous household waste, but also in general more for more responsible usage of resources. So the direct translation of SuperDrecksKëscht would be super waste bin, something like that. And initially, it's an activity owned by the Luxembourgish Ministry of Environment, together with the Environment Agency, that is the department of the ministry, and then the Chamber of Craftsmanship, as well as the Chamber of Commerce. And as I said earlier, we are operating this as a company on a tender base, and so the company is called Ökoservice Luxembourg. So to give you a brief idea of the territory that we cover, so as you said earlier, yes, it's a national activity, but size-wise, it could be a local activity as well. So we have like an area of roughly 2,500 square kilometers with a population of 680,000 people. But then again, we have like more or less 220,000 people crossing the border every day. So that gives us a little bit under 1 million people during the day here in the country. And the country is as well divided in 100 municipalities. So they are mainly smaller municipalities. Yeah, so that's a bit the situation that we deal with on our basis. Yeah, to give you a short idea where this whole activity started, it's quite a while that the SuperDrecksKëscht is operating. So this all started in '85 already, where there was the wish to create something for citizens to bring the hazardous household waste, because before there was nothing except for the residual black bin, so even at the worst place it ended sometimes. So there was a system with 3 different containers that was set up in a different place every day, and people got like a calendar where to find the containers, and they could bring their hazardous waste to these places. So in the beginning it was still very basic, but that was the start of the separate collection towards the households, to give them a possibility to bring their products. Today, it looks a little different. So here you see like a brief overview of what the services are that we have like on a municipality basis. So we have, of course, the collection of the hazardous waste that we are going to analyze in detail a little bit later. But then we also consult businesses in Luxembourg for the general waste management, as well for their waste reduction. So we roughly consult 6,000 businesses here in Luxembourg. And then we have like the department where I'm head of the SDK Akademie, that is mainly focusing on professional training, awareness creation for the proper handling of hazardous waste, but also in general for the waste management, waste reduction, as well on a private as on a professional level. And then of course we have like everything that's oriented towards the citizens in handling the hazardous household waste. So what, to give you a brief idea, I mean it's probably known what it is, but yeah, there are things affect like Michael said earlier, the paint that we collect, we have the spray cans, we have the chemicals, we have oil products, solvents, but we also collect, for example, like cooking oil. It's not hazardous, but it's problematic. So that's what we are in charge of as well. We have like medicine, all the medical products that you could have inside your home. So in general, we collect a little bit more than 100 different waste products coming from households. And in total, we collect over the year coming from households, we collect a little bit more than 3,000 tons per year. Exactly. So how we collect these different elements? There are a lot of similarities to what Michael explained earlier. So in Luxembourg we have the local resource centers. They were always called recycling centers, but we got a new law 2 years ago, and since then they are called resource center to really put the resources in focus. And these resource centers are either operated by the municipalities by themselves, or like groupments of municipalities. So we have like different, we have like 20 collecting of these collecting points throughout the country. And in these resource centers, there's also always a station, an SDK station, a SuperDrecksKëscht station, where the hazardous waste is collected. So these stations are operated by the staff from the recycling centers, but we provide them with all the necessary equipment, with the expertise they need. We have like a consulting service that's going around to help them in their work. We train them to handle this properly, to handle this in a secure way, to package this and to store this in the proper ways. And we guarantee the removal of this of all of these hazardous products. Yeah, so that's the one pillar that we have for collecting this hazardous waste. That's also the main pillar, or the biggest pillar, where we got like the biggest quantities. Then a second pillar that we have are, for instance, is our service center. So that's operating as a mobile collection unit for hazardous waste, and it's rotating on a daily basis. So it's stationed every day in a different location throughout Luxembourg. And yeah, the planning is made that we cover as good as possible the community. And all the designated places are visited 4 times a year. So ideally, every citizen has access to this unit near to where he's living every 2 months. Yeah, this helped us to collect in last year like more or less 500 tons of the hazardous waste. So it's equipped in a similar way than the truck that Michael showed earlier. So we have like the balance integrated. We have the digital system. So as soon as they get something in from the citizens, that you can see, for example, here in the picture, it's registered in the computer system, and so we know exactly where it's coming from, what the quantity is. And so we have it in our system, and we can track during all the process what type of waste was coming from where we picked it up, who was the driver who was picking it up, so that we can have like full transparency in the full process, but also on a logistic level, it really helps. Yeah, of course, we have like the ADR regulations that we have to respect with this system. So this really developed over the last years. We are running this system as a company since also 35 years. So the truck was developed over this time. So we integrated a lot of systems to really help us doing this this kind of work in a proper way. And another collection system that we have is the door-to-door collection. So depending on where the municipalities are located in the country, either we always try to differentiate if it's more urban or more rural. But depending on this fact, either it's a door-to-door collection or citizens can call, and so we are coming to pick it up at scheduled dates. So also with this system, every citizen has access to this system 4 times a year, as I said earlier, either in a door-to-door system or in a call system. Yeah, exactly. And this always works together with the service center with this one that we saw in the slide before. So this one is stationed in a fixed place, and then depending on the area that we are covering that day, we have 2 or 3 of these trucks that are doing the rounds inside the villages for picking up the different waste. And as soon as their truck is full, they come to the big truck to unload it, and then they continue their route. Sorry. And then a last system for collecting from the citizens is in partnership with retail stores, with retail chains and stores, and we do this also in collaboration with the producer responsibility systems. So inside a lot of shops we have, like, it doesn't always look like this. That has like different appearances, but the idea is always the same, that we have like this kind of collection point inside the shop. So we have like the people working in the shop that are also guaranteeing that everything is in order with this collecting point, and then our people are coming to pick up the products that are collected in this this kind of tool. The idea here is really to enter the process of consumption, so that you have the citizens that are consuming, but to give them the possibility to integrate the second part of the consumption in their journey, so that everything could take place in the same place. Exactly. So these are like the various tools that we have to collect the problematic waste coming from the citizens. And as I said earlier, we collect around 3,000 tons per year with the systems. We also have like adapted collection containers that we give towards the people, towards the citizens. So this is kind of our wet box. Our one is green, and yeah, that's so people can use this to storage their problematic waste at home, but also to transport it. Then we have like specific containers for the batteries, so that people can collect the batteries. So this is for at home, and the big ones is like, for example, as well inside the retail stores. But there we have also a security concept, so that there's also vermiculite added, and then it has to be protected. So this also changed quite a lot over the last years. This is a box that we give to people whenever they have like syringes at home, or like specific medical equipment that they have at home. This one, for example, is for the cooking oil, and this one is for spray cans, also to be conformed to RDR regulations. Yeah, exactly. And then after we collected this throughout the different systems, we have a central logistics center that is based in Kommerberg in Luxembourg. That's more or less central in the country. And so we do different manipulations, or we prepare the different waste products for their further journey. So we have like a team that is highly qualified here in Kommerberg to do this kind of work. We also have chemists here based in Kommerberg. So whenever we don't know what products we got, or if we need to do analysis for the recipients afterwards of the products, or if we need to analyze the quality of oil products, for example, we have the laboratory here based also in Kommerberg, and we could do all these processes here in Kommerberg to make sure that we have like high quality products that are going to the recipients afterwards. Yeah, for the further step. Perhaps another thing I wanted to add it here is we also try to find as good as possible local ways to reutilize products or resources in short ways. But as you can imagine, we don't have a lot of recycling companies here in Luxembourg, as due to the size of the country. But we are trying to develop different processes to still keep resources here. And so we also had this topic of paint, because paint for us is also the by far the biggest quantity that of product that we collect. And we have a paint collector based here in Luxembourg, and like a few years ago we started to experiment with them to recycle different kinds of paint. So this is only working with the water-based paint, but still they managed to recycle this paint and bring it back to the market again. So it's still in development. There are still some issues that we have, or that they have, like in the production with this, but they already they yet managed to bring to market some loads of recycled paint. So that's one way of that we are trying to use to diminish the quantities of paint that are going to incineration afterwards. And another new project that we started last year is with a university in Germany for the medicine. So they are trying to extract some substances from medicine, because usually medicine is incinerated as well. But they developed they are developing a process to extract some substances from the medicine, especially as over the last years there was like some shortages in substances for medicine. So that was that is kind of an interesting process. For the cooking oil that we are collecting from citizens and also from companies as well, we use it partly to transform it into biodiesel, and so all our trucks and partly also our cars are running from this biodiesel made from the cooking oil that we are collecting, and we are also using this for heating our logistics center. So yeah, the point is we try to use it as much as possible, really on a local level. And then another point is that for us transparency is absolutely key, because like there are a lot of myths about what is happening with the waste that is collected, and yeah, everything is going to Africa, and this kind of stories that you can hear like here and there. And therefore for us it's important that we are really transparent, and that we really can explain to people what we are doing with the products that we collect. And therefore we developed a tool. It's called resource potential. So we always compare it to the Nutri-Score that you have like for food. There you have like a simple system to show you if it's healthy or not. And here we have like kind of a Nutri-Score for the circular economy. So to show you if it's if resources stay in the circular or not. So it's very basic. In the end, the system is very basic. Everything that's green is reused as resources. Yellow is energy recovery, and the red part is are the losses. So we have this for every product that we collect. We indicate who is the recipient of the product, so who is handling the processes after we gave this product to them, and we explain what is done exactly with the product and what are the resources that can be used as resources and what are the resources that serve for energy recovery. Yeah, and then a last service that we have, like for the collection of the hazardous waste coming from households, is also for residential buildings, so building where you have flats, because as also in the example of Michael, it's not always easy to have like a good organized system to collect this kind of products. And so we developed also like kind of a concept with different kind of boxes. And so we have a consulting service that's also free for citizens to organize this kind of collection in this kind of buildings, and we're also supporting companies that are providing the service to empty this kind of boxes afterwards. Yeah, so number-wise, to give you a short overview of the situation in Luxembourg. So you can see that we stabilized more or less around 5 kilograms of hazardous waste per capita. This was like this the little COVID down that we had, but it's going back up again. Probably we will stabilize again around this 5 kilograms per capita. And then we have like another type of analysis that is done more or less every 4 years in Luxembourg. So there's a national study to analyze the composition of the residual waste, so of the black bin of the citizens, really to understand, is it only residual waste that ends up in this kind of collection, or what other type of products ends up there? Yeah, in 2008, 2008, we still had like 2.6 kilograms of hazardous waste and problematic waste per capita in the black bin. But now the last analysis that was published was in 21. Then we were like under 1 kilogram. It was 0.95. And there's another one being done right now, so the results probably come out in the end of the year. So we hope that we are hopeful that we will that it will be even less in this moment. But so yeah, they can see that the collection really helps, the sensibilization really helps. But yeah, there's still a little work to do, and still to continue to work to keep people aware of this problematic. Yeah, so that's it. That's more or less what I wanted to share with you today, of how we deal with the hazardous waste coming from the private households here in Luxembourg.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Jeff. That's I have to say, I mean, I'm very impressed, and I won't lie, it was pretty difficult to find case studies on these kinds of issues. But what's quite incredible is that when we do find the case studies, I mean, they are very incredibly well organized. So there's a lot of thought and planning and experience as well behind them that makes this really quite interesting. There are also many challenges in this area. So I would actually just like to maybe give a shout out as well to Françoise Bonnet from ACR Plus, who put us in touch with you and Michael to hear these case studies. So really big thank you to Françoise for pointing us in this direction. And hopefully we'll also be able to hear from more case studies and examples even in this meeting. So I would really invite all of you to, take part in the conversation. As of now, raise your hand, we can give you the microphone and all the rest of it. There are a bunch of questions, and also to Jean-Benoit, of course, at ACR Plus, yes. Sorry, Jean-Benoit. Françoise and Jean-Benoit. One immediate question for you, Jeff, just on the different collection methods that you outlined. There was one specifically on the retail chains, just to see like how easy or difficult was it to introduce this kind of collection system at the point of retail. Maybe briefly, what kind of retail stores, what kind of products are actually covered by that very specific type of collection where people bring back their products at retail? Could you maybe just say something on that?
Yeah, so perhaps the first part of the question. I mean, as we are ongoing with let's say our advantage is that we have like different pillars. So we not only work based on the collection of the waste products for citizens, but we also as we have the consultancy for businesses, as we have like the different circular economy initiatives, such as we have like a local label to promote like a sustainable product. We were already in contact with a lot of retail chains, and we already had like some kinds of partnerships with the different shops. So that already helped to get in contact with the different retail chains. But then again, in the beginning, it still is it isn't mandatory. It's like on a volunteer basis. So shops really try to engage in this because they saw like it's an advantage as well for their citizens. For their clients in this kind of service. So there was one who started, and then it continued with this, and it was only like 2 years or 3 years ago where there was a law that made some types of collection mandatory for the for different kinds of shops. What kind of shops are this? So these are mainly like shopping centers or general stores, like supermarkets. Supermarkets as well. Yeah, supermarkets is exactly, and also like for this kind of shops for homework. So what we collect there, we have like light bulbs, we have like small electronics, we have like batteries. So not necessarily the highly dangerous products, but yeah, these kinds of products that you can leave in this kind of open space.
Right, perfect. And another one for you specifically, because we saw some of the aspects related to cost in Michael's presentation. How do you keep costs sort of manageable in relation to this, pretty decentralized, high quality service that you're providing with different collection methods for citizens?
I would say that our cost situation is probably very efficient structured because we have like these different pillars. So everything is for the citizens free, but then there are transports as well for companies, and they have to pay for different services. So this is we got kind of an equilibrium due to that. And then yeah, after that, the state decided that this is like a service provided towards the citizens, so they are also covering for this kind of service. And then we have like the let's say the highly the high, we have like the most resources is really like in the resource centers, and this collection is covered by the resource center staff. Because they are there, they have to run the whole recycling center, the whole resource center. So they are there and they're running this in the same time. And there we make sure that we have like a good consultancy for them, that we support them, that they get like all the necessary material that they need, that they get like all the training that they need. But it's them running this collection at this point.
Okay.
So it's like it's like a mixture of different strategies to keep costs in control.
Reasonable, yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing then on your sort of interaction with citizens. So what kind of communication channels do you have to inform citizens on, when the different services would be available, what they should be doing, and also on the adapted containers that you mentioned? There were a few specific examples. How are those sort of distributed to citizens and collected?
There as well, we try to use the different effects to multiply the messages. So we have like our proper media. So we have an internet side. We have like social media. We have like we broadcast that some stuff at the radio. We do publicity in local newspapers. But then again, we also have like the municipalities who are really communicating towards their own citizens. So they communicate the different collection dates, because like it's organized in their municipalities. So they are communicating all the different dates for the paper collection, for the glass collection, also for the collection of the hazardous waste. And then we also provide them with the necessary material that they can publish in their media. So we produce the media, we produce different info sheets, graphics, stuff like that, and then we send it to them, and they publish it in their own media. So this really helps us to be efficient and to be cost efficient in this kind of field. And then we have like our SDK Akademie, and there we really do a lot of sensibilization work. So we work together with schools all over Luxembourg, but we also do like professional trainings with the Chamber of Craftsmanship, with different institutions in the field of professional training, so that we also get the message inside the different sectors. But we also train, for example, municipality personnel, and we train the recycling center personnel, so that they also get the right messages to communicate to the clients in the end.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. And I'd like to bring in Michael to give you a bit of a breather as well, Jeff. But there's one thing that comes across, and there's also a question on that in the chat. It's the level of knowledge that one needs, right, on the waste management side when dealing with such a wide variety of products, and nevertheless very specific, quite niche, low tonnages. So it's not something that you can easily get into. And so the level of training, human resources, seems to be, and I think both of you have highlighted it, really, really important. On the other hand, I imagine really difficult to achieve, right? To kind of get this level of knowledge and training. Is this one of the challenges? Is this something where a professional community of this nature could also maybe have an impact, an effect? I'd like to hear your thoughts a bit on this kind of human resources side of it, Michael.
Yeah, definitely it is challenging to educate people enough. We have like a rotation, so that every 2 years they have to attend a special training, our people who deals with the waste here in our recycling centers. But we don't change people so often here, so they develop the capacity throughout. And we have people stay here for a long time, so we don't really have the problem with people who don't have the capacity. People actually think it's interesting. People like to work with this, so we are never short of people. It is like a special fraction which people think is interesting.
Okay, so the answer is longevity, longevity in the job. But nevertheless, how difficult is it to get into the position where how long does it take basically to train someone new to this?
It takes time because, as you say, it's always different chemicals, it's different packagings. What we normally go for is the danger labels. Danger labels provide a good first input on what to look for. So if you see the flame symbol, you know it's flammable. If it's corrosive, it gives a very good indication of what is the major risk related to the chemicals. And then based on that, we have an online sorting app where we can look up different chemicals, brand names, also the safety data sheets is providing a lot of good information. So people have tools they can use to determine what should be done with this product.
Right. And there's another question which would be interesting to hear both of you on, actually. It's the links between, the management of waste, but then also waste reduction, right? So reducing hazardous waste. Are these two policies somehow connected at the level of either kind of national policy or municipal level? Are they different departments? How does that connect in any shape or form, Michael?
Well, our waste management plan is more general, so hazardous waste is not mentioned as a specific component within the waste management plan, but just considered as part of the waste, where we try to encourage reuse and recycling. So we try to encourage people to reuse and recycle as much as possible. Don't buy too much paint is one of the key issues. Of course, we also, like in Luxembourg, we also try to encourage people to have this, to mix the paint as a NGO. It's done in Copenhagen. I know that they have an NGO who collect the waste and mix it into a light brownish color. It turns out to be brown most of the time, and then they give it away for free for people who are willing to have like an maybe non-compliant paint, but still they can use it maybe in special projects. Also for artists, we collect small quantities which we give to artists and painters can come and collect at our reuse. We have a recycling center, but we also have a reuse center where we collect waste which is not really waste but can be used by others. So direct reuse, citizens to citizens. There we also encourage them to bring like paint mainly.
Okay, brilliant. Jean-Benoit, I don't want to put you on the spot, but could you maybe take the floor because your question on the assimilated producers, I think is quite interesting, but I would like to get a little bit more understanding of what's behind it. Could you sort of say it? That would be amazing. If we can help Jean-Benoit unmute, if that's possible. I hope Jean-Benoit can just go straight in. Cool, thank you.
It works. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the spot. And thanks to both speakers. I said it in the chat, but I was really curious to hear more about those case studies. So actually I had a personal interest in having this webinar organized too, because I had a question on assimilated waste, because I know that in many territories it is an issue for municipal services, and some of them include non-household hazardous waste, but it comes with a high cost, and some don't, and might be challenging to prevent them from being collected together with household waste. So I had a question on whether for both Luxembourg and Odense, non-household waste, hazardous waste were included in the collection systems, or they were charged, because usually they come with more quantities. And if they are not included in the municipal service, how do you manage to keep them out of the municipal service so that the citizens don't bear the cost of handling them?
Would you have like an example? I just to sort of try and get what you mean by that.
No, I know that, for example, in some territories, the civic amenity sites get only accept hazardous waste.
Mm-hmm.
So there's limits on quantities, but sometimes professional producers still find ways to come, like with citizen cards and kind of bring for free some quantities.
Okay.
And in the end, it might amount to large quantities.
Okay, understood. Thanks. Jeff, Michael?
Yeah, perhaps for our example, it's let's say for the collection that we organize, so this kind of service center and mobile collection, it's it's limited in quantities, because it's there for the citizens, and it's a free service for citizens, so quantities are limited to avoid as you mentioned, that companies are coming with big quantities. The recycling centers are similar, but there the rules depend a little bit, because the the recycling centers are under the responsibility of the municipalities, and so their rules vary a little bit, how strict they are in letting companies in or not, but still they are usually strict about the volume that you can bring. So in general, as long as it's clear that it's coming from households, it's okay. But as soon as there's a doubt that the quantities are too big and it's coming from a company, it's limited.
Thanks. Michael?
Sorry, just a last thing. What we do though is whenever, I don't know, there's a basement where the grandmother died, and the basement is full of strange stuff and obvious hazardous stuff. We have the service that we also have the chemists going there and doing the concept for picking everything up, and then we pick it up, because it's clear that it's coming from citizens. So it's not limited, but it's limited in the way that it needs to come from citizens.
Thanks.
In Odense, we have a bit the same. We try to distinguish between the citizens and the small industries. We have like a rule that we accept up to 100 kilos from small industries per year. And then when they come and hand over the waste, they have to declare it as a company, and we register by the VAT number, by the company VAT number, and then we will send a bill to them specifically. There's a fixed price of maybe 3 kroner, like 50 cents per kilo, which we would then invoice the companies. So we try really to distinguish between the cost for the citizens and the cost for the industry. That's also by legislation. We have to be hugely transparent, and that's maybe a bit different from Luxembourg, where it seems that you can take in money from one and give to another. That's not allowed here. We have to charge the cost for each of the fractions that we collect to the citizens. So we know exactly how much money we spend on hazardous waste, how many kroner we spend on recycling, flamenco, polystyrene, or whatever, any fractions, there's a special accountant which details that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Brilliant.
so
Yeah.
if I could add something,
Yeah.
I think I wasn't clear about that point thing. It's very transparent as well. For us, we have like as soon as the businesses are using the services, the collecting services, it's like a service beside, and there we have really a very transparent price list per fraction, what every kilo of each fraction costs, based on the real prices. So there's a calculation behind every product. What I meant, where we have like this cost efficiency, is that we use like the same facilities for the one and the other. So we have like this cost optimization, but it's still very transparent. What is the cost situation on the business side, and what's the cost situation on the citizen side, and the municipality side. Yeah. Otherwise, we got cut the head off as well.
Okay. One question as well, in terms of how you manage the waste. Do you separate the packaging from the product? And is it possible then to somehow recover or even recycle the packaging? Do you try and make a distinction between that, or is everything in the end considered hazardous? Michael, maybe?
Yeah, here in Odense we don't do any repackaging or emptying bottles or anything. We just leave the chemicals in the original container. It could probably be more cost efficient to drain the oil filters or any of these small, not too dangerous operations, but we have decided that this is not our job to do that.
Right. Okay. And Jeff, because I was a bit surprised by your figures on recovery versus disposal, right? Are you able to somehow separate the packaging, recycle it? Does that help?
Yeah, we do this for different things. Yeah. For example, like for the medicines, we are sorting like we are leaving them in the blister, but we are taking away all the paper, and then we are sorting out the spray cans, like this kind of manipulation. We have other things where we can take off the packaging. After that, as soon as it's like liquids, usually it's difficult to sort the product by itself from the packaging. So that's more difficult. But as soon as it's not mixing, we try to separate this. On one hand, because it's like more resource efficient. On the other hand, it's also sometimes more cost efficient, because when you leave everything together, usually you have to pay for it, and if you are able to separate different materials, you can get money from the different, depending on what it is, but you can get money back from the resources. So that's also something where we really try to do the calculation to be as cost efficient as possible with this. Then we have like for different products, the where you have like the plastic bin, the plastic, I don't know the exact English word, but like this sort of plastic recipient where you put the products in. You can only use them for a certain amount of time, and after that you can't use them anymore because of RDR regulations. And so we try to, because for certain incineration products are incinerated in this blue recipients, and we try to only use them when they are in the end of their lifespan, to make sure that we don't use new packaging. Therefore, so we try to organize this as efficient as possible. Yeah, but it's not always possible. It really depends on what it is.
Okay, thanks. I mean, we have some 5 minutes left, and I would just like to finish with a last reflection from the two of you. And I'm trying to connect it also to a question on costs and derogations in relation to ADR, right, in transport. So let me try and put that together into a question. So I think from what we saw from Michael, there is a huge cost attached, a relative cost attached to this. Which is very clear. On the other hand, a lot of that is also coming from the administrative aspect of dealing with this waste. And both of your systems actually come from a voluntary background in a way. And now we're facing a mandatory system where this kind of separate collection has to be established. So it's not a question of voluntarily covering costs. It's a question of now establishing a system and paying for it, right? So given that there's this change of context, I would be wondering whether you think there are any changes or adaptations that would need to be made, derogations that would somehow make it a little bit more manageable on a cost level for municipalities to deal with this. So I understood that, for instance, going for certain low thresholds of transport meant that you would be under some kind of derogation limit. So you have to kind of make sure that you're not transporting too much. But I would like to have a reflection from you on what kind of other, let's say, derogations, or maybe that's not the best word, but adaptations to legislation you think would be necessary in going from this voluntary to mandatory and making the system overall cost effective and manageable. Something like that. Does that make sense as a question? Michael, yeah, do you want to try and take that one?
It's a big question, but yeah, probably we will have to adjust our system here, because when we start to bring out the red boxes to every household here, there will be increased pressure on our trucks and staff. So maybe we will try to push more towards these setting up the collection at different locations, a bit like in Luxembourg, where we go and put it in different locations. So in that way, trying to optimize the system, but so much different. I don't really think the citizen will have to. They will still have to collect it in the red box. We have a good experience with that, so I don't think we want to change that. But maybe I think we will have to change the way we collect the red boxes when we start to feel the pressure of the many boxes which needs to be collected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe also from Jeff, like a reflection on this question of cost and potential adaptations to legislation to keep it manageable.
Yeah, it's a bit as Michael said. I think people still need to collect this. So that's, I mean, that's the goal of it. And then afterwards, yeah, legislation wise, I'm not sure, but I mean, what we always try to do is to find the most synergies as possible to keep efficiency high and to keep costs as low as possible, knowing that these are and stays products that need a lot of handling, and it's because they are problematic that this other type of collection is mandatory. So yeah, legislation wise, I'm not sure what could be or should be changed. But yeah, as I said earlier, from our point of view, we have the advantage that we had all this time before to develop already like some kind of system. So we are also very open to share experiences if anyone is interested. But yeah, I mean, to try to find as much synergies as possible is probably like the best way to deal with it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I mean, I think we have to close. I'm afraid I can't maybe take all the questions, but we will do our best. The other thing that I promise is that we will try and follow up. I mean, obviously we can only do so much in an hour and a half, but I think these case studies and the reactions in the chat and the questions to the case studies, I think shows that we need to think about optimizing these systems. So my proposal would be that we try and work together to try and get more information. What was really difficult in the run up to this workshop is to sort of actually find information on case studies, on what is happening. So I think it would be really useful if all of you on the call would sort of somehow help us respond to that. So whether it's some kind of questionnaire, or we'll have to see what shape we can give that. But I think we need to have a little bit more information. And to think about some of the things that we can bring in common, right? Certain types of principles. If there is a need to adapt certain types of legislation, maybe we can also sort of have that conversation, right? To make things more manageable. So I think we'll try and think about what kind of next step we can bring there. It's not just about organizing these workshops. We do actually want to, do some follow-up. Okay, so that we will be in touch. And I would like to just, finish by saying thank you so much, Michael and Jeff, for the preparation and for sharing a lot of insights and answering many, many questions. So really, thanks a lot for that. I would also like to thank my colleague Vanya, who's been putting a lot of effort into, bringing all the people here to this meeting, the speakers and the participants. So thanks a lot, Vanya, for doing that and for coordinating all of this work. And you can join us and stay connected on the hazardsout.eu website. And we will be now working with FEAD, with ACR Plus and Hazardous Waste Europe to really think about these next steps. But please also let us know if you would be willing to help us build these next steps, right? Like we're very open. You can write to Vanya, share your thoughts. That will really help. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.